Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
Yes, job people, this is Michael Shamai representing. I will say, hear the lion voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes, wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it. I Jollifer said that.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here, hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Jano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me too. Like, what more could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? Get your samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile, Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, you know, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, beautiful Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youths them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
Yes, this beautiful continent that I'm gonna show Mama Africa. From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I love you, Mama. Your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing. I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The King of Kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I elect himself. First rightful ruler. Hey yo! Yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi. They stole my people. Then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion we come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in a Toronto, straight at it.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka DejazmatchKwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion's Voice, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the Lions are telling our own story. Blessed African Liberation Month. We are dubbing this month African Liberation Month. We have several milestones on the Pan-African Rastafari map this month. So this entire month, we're going to be celebrating the liberation of peoples of African descent. On Monday, we have African Victory Day, May 5th, which marks the anniversary of His Majesty's triumphant re-entry into Addis Ababa. We are going to be doing a special live for that, so stay tuned. We're going to drop that flyer shortly. We may have a special guest, I'm not going to say, but we are definitely going to go live just to commemorate the victory, the African victory. Today, though, we have a brand new segment, a brand new series that we're adding to the channel. Many of the items know I am the reading Ras, and that means I love books. You see my bookshelf behind I, which is only a fraction of my Trueberry, my book collection. Every Rastafari man and woman should have a Trueberry, a book collection, physical books, we say. That is how we preserve the ancients. From ancient time, we had the scrolls, we wrote on parchment, animal skins, or on bamboo reed, we always found a way to record our story. And so part of the tradition of Rastafari is being one literate. Rastafari from a child from Lidge Tafari was highly literate and ravenous when it come on to book reading. So that's one thing that we want to ensure for the entire Lion Pride, that we are ravenous when it comes to book reading. And so we're launching a new series. This is a brand new series, and we're welcoming on board a new sponsor to the channel, which is Frontline Book Publishing. And this is a dream come true for because as a young Ras in university, I used to read books when I was on my search, and when I opened the books, I would often see Frontline Book Publishing, Head Start Publishing. These were two of the main imprints that I used to see on some of the books, whether it was Philosophies and Opinion, His Majesty Autobiography, so many more titles that are seminal to searching in this trad when you're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence. And now I live to see the day where Frontline Books is a sponsor of the Lion Voice Network. It's really a joy. And part of that sponsorship is going to be, one of the benefits is going to be, we're going to sit down with the founder, the CEO, Ras Sekou, one of our elders, within the chat, and we're gonna select books of the month. So every month we're gonna have special books from the Frontline Catalog or Lion Log that we're going to be examining, and we're gonna just get an overview on what these books are like, do a deep dive so we can spark the interest. And the idea is that the Lion Pride go and buy these books. If you have saw my special edition episode on Ibrahim Traore, Rastafari stands with Ibrahim Traore, over 2,500 views on the channel already. So people love the video. But one of the things I said in terms of this revolution, this uprising, is that we must practice radical economic collective security. That is our solution. So yes, the march is good. We show up with the march and we hold up the placard, and we get that feel good moment, that dopamine rush. But that is not enough to support Ibrahim Traore or all of the other freedom fighters that are rising for this time. For this time, we got to support people with economics. And so Lion Pride, we're trying to instill, we're now 37,000 plus members of the Lion Pride. Will hit 38,000 by Monday morning. We'll be at 38,000 on our road to 40,000. But all of that means nothing if we're not harnessing those numbers for radical collective economic security. And so what the vision is that when we share these books with the item, let the item go to the Frontline Publishing book website and purchase the books. Let us capitalize, make sure that our elder have enough capital to invest, because guess what the elder is going to do? He's going to reinvest in other platforms, in other institutions. We need a physical space on the continent, Frontline factory, where we're producing these books and we're flooding the continent. So when we're thinking about revolution, don't just get caught in the slogans and Ibrahim Traore and you feel up vibes and all of these things, but we're not doing anything. I said, all of us, we have currency, we have fiat currency passing through our hands as we survive, because most of us are in survival mode, let's be honest. All of us have fiat currency passing through our hands. So what we can do as a revolutionary act is to redirect some of that currency that usually just going, we work for it and then we're sending it to creditors. Working for it, we're sending it to the grocery store, to all of these things. We might treat ourselves to a little movie or a little entertainment. We might go to a reggae show, so, but most of that fiat currency is being directed right forward into the system. The radical act that we're saying now is when we bring guests on the Lion Voice Network, redirect some of that capital to the guests. If we have 40,000 people that give $10 to one guest, that's over 400,000 in capital that we have capitalized that person in that moment. For a 2 hour, they sit down 2 hour and leave it with almost $500,000 US currency. That's the power of the Lion Pride if we come together and practice radical collective economic security. You know what I mean? So when we bring the elder on the platform and we highlight some of these books, we're going to be talking about some of these books today, and we'll get deeper into them. Go to the website and purchase the books. Again, capitalize. And before we bring forward our guests, let me just give thanks to John Rogers, our latest member of the Lion Pride on Patreon. He got the message and is now practicing radical economic collective security. He's now joined the Patreon, which is the economic engine for this platform. That brings us to 34 people in the Lion Pride on Patreon. And this is, again, we have 34 out of 38,000. So you can see, and we give thanks for each and every one of the item in the Lion Pride. But what we're saying now is that radical economic collective security has to be in practice. Capitalize. I make the promise that I will hire only Rastafari people in building this network, at least in the first phase, and I already know the people I need and the qualifications that they have. I know them, it's not no fantasy. So as you come on board at the economic engine, this allows I to step up our production to hire Rastafari people. Those people now, we're pulling them out the matrix. It's like Harriet Tubman, we're freeing people. We're pulling people into our Rastafari ecosystem full time. That's the mission. That's the revolution right now, family. Everything else is slogan and things, but until we build an economic base for Rastafari movement, we can't build anything. We're supposed to be able to send a delegation to go check Ibrahim Traore. Supposed to be able to send in a delegation as Rastafari independent media, and we sit down with Ibrahim Traore and we cover, or we sit down with the Rasses in Burkina Faso. We should be at a level to do that, but we can't afford to do that. But we'll get there together because we're building together. But that is how I want us to be thinking about this revolution. It's not just slogans. It's not just, the one thing that we all have that power is that the fiat currency is passing through our hands daily, monthly, weekly. It's just how do we direct it? We're used to sufferation, but guess what? If we're investing in ourselves over time, they will also get pulled into the Rastafari ecosystem. That's what we have to do. But we have to have businesses that are strong enough to employ people, which means that the mass, the collective, the family has to invest in these businesses. So again, join us in the Lion Pride on Patreon or support the guests. We only bring people here who exemplify the excellence of Rastafari in the Pan-African world. So support the guests, $5, $10, $20, $50, whatever is at the eye level. This is the radical collective economic security that we're talking about. So big up everyone in the Lion Pride. John Rogers, the latest to join the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up yourself. He also ordered a copy of our book. We do have signed copies available. Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, the journey of His Majesty birth. So big up yourself, John Rogers. You're practicing economic collective security, a radical form. You acted, you know what I mean? So we give thanks. Now we're going to bring forward our guests for the day. Big up Ras Lidge, Ramia King Design. Big up brother Carl Philpotts, also coming on board as a sponsor with a book. So all of these businesses and services, we're building our own ecosystem here, our own Rastafari ecosystem. This is how we're going to stay independent, non-aligned, because we're funded by ourselves first. Yes, the others will come, but the core should be I and I, you know what I mean, fully. So big up Ras Woolley, Philpotts, CMOS Life, Wally King's Graphics and Design, all of the sponsors who make or who are making this to be a viable media enterprise. Big up on yourself, big up the audience, big up everyone on the patients, you know, that are watching the journey and that are living with us as we evolve. These are historic times. Come on, talk to me. You know what I mean? Building out Rastafari independent media in the time of Ibrahim Traore is a dream come true. Me not gonna lie to the item. To see Africa waking up around the world and we are building out the media, figure cover it and bring it to the family. Trust me, I feel joyful right now. I tell the item the truth. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Let us welcome our guests. This is the Reading Ras on the front line. Lion Pride, help I to welcome our elder, book publisher, historian, you name it, music publishing, all kind of thing Ras Sekou has done. We'll watch his episode when we went down the journey. But help us to welcome Ras Sekou Tafari. Welcome, family.
Yes, I.
Perfect love, perfect love. Always everything
Yes,
with
I.
the eye.
Yeah, man, giving thanks Rastafari, give thanks DejazmatchKwasi, give thanks to the family, give thanks to all my brethren and sistren all over the world, especially in Africa right now. You know, it's a Ras struggle, and we dare to struggle, we dare to win. You know, their Majesty say we only could win, so we on the battlefield, and we support the struggle going on in Burkina Faso and other parts of Africa.
Yes.
So, you know,
I was gonna say
much
before we get started, you know, as an elder who was there right beside Morris Bishop, who you've seen your share of revolution. You know, how are you checking what you see happening or unfolding in the earth today from your vantage point? You know, as a elder, how you feel about what you see?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. How I see it right now is a purging going on. I see it all within the United Snakes. It is breaking down itself. I'm seeing that Africa is rising or in the form of Ibrahim Traore, in the form of our brother there. I think it's the brother in South Africa with the EPP. The brother in South Africa. I think that right now is a rising of the youth to take hold of what's going on in the world, because it's a radical change and we need to see Africa more economically stronger. If China could do it, Africa could do it. So I'm sure at the end of the day, our African youths would do it. You know, with all the strength that we have, young power, what we call the young earthquake, because Africa is the only country with a young population growing so much widely. So we have power and strength 1.4 billion people is a lot of people. So let Africa do it now, because Their Majesty paved the way. Osajifo Kwame Nkrumah paved the way. Julius Nyerere paved the way. So we have the young ones. We have Thomas Sankara, Samora Machel, all these brothers, Winnie Mandela, and so on, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X. All these people helped pave the way for what we see now, this new youth quake, as we would call it, within the African continent and within the African diaspora. So we give thanks for the direction it's going, and we know it is unstoppable. It is unstoppable. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks. I want to just thank the Isa Elder for having faith in our platform that we're building here. You've been watching us for some time, and I reached out
from the beginning.
And,
from the beginning, my brother.
From the beginning.
And we have no other choice but to support this movement, because this is our movement, and we need our own independent media, and it's a blessing to see how the movement and how Lion Pride and Lion Talk has been growing tremendously, especially on across the diaspora within the African continent and so on. So we had no other choice. Their Majesty give us that direction. If we I believe in what we're doing, we have to give back. We publishing the works of Their Majesty, Autobiography 1, Autobiography 2, which came on our lap through Their Majesty direction. We couldn't just get it just like that. These things don't happen like that. Is a reason why, and why the ancestors choose to put it in Frontline hands and my hands. So if in that case, we have to give back to the community. We have to help build the community. If the community gives to us, we have to give back to the community, and our own house. We have to have our own publishing house. We have to have our own media house, and so we are very glad to see Lion Pride, under your tutelage and direction, and the Majesty's direction. We are glad to see it grow, and we want it to grow to millions of people across the diaspora. That is the strength, because it's the same thing. Marcus Garvey didn't have no internet, but Marcus Garvey was able to grow to at least 10 million people within the organization of the UNIA and the AACL. So we have internet now. So we sure that Lion Pride and other platforms could grow to millions of within the diaspora. So yeah, man. So we have no choice, my brethren. We have to support others to support this movement of our people.
Yes, sir. And you see, as you said that, we have Lion Pride checking in, Mohammed Saleh listening from Dakar, so Senegal watching live. So it just shows you the power of the technology that we have now. And I just want to highlight, I want to take the time to just highlight, hold on, we have I Love Beach Baby, greetings watching from Aruba, also from Grenada. So you see ones checking in from all over. Lion Pride checking in. We have Lion Pride on Patreon, Van Rick from the UK. Great things are happening, my brother. Give thanks for your works. I can only look forward to the great uprising. So, people are waking up, and, it's really a joy. Can you come closer to the camera so we can see the eye mouth, because they
you see me better now?
There.
Me?
Yeah, man. That is eye.
All right. Yeah, man. See the man behind the works.
Yeah, man. So
yes, sir.
But just before we get into the books of the month, I want to just highlight that, because I don't know when the history is written, people will look back to this link between the Lion Voice Network and Frontline Book Publishing as one of the major connections that spark this Rastafari golden age that is coming. You know what I mean? I'm coining that term that the Rastafari golden age is emerging.
The
So
Rastafari golden age and the Rastafari literary revolution.
Haile.
It's a Rastafari literary revolution that's taking place.
Haile.
Because yes, I. You know, just
So,
as how they had a revolution in 19 in Harlem with Marcus Garvey trigger off. You know, a lot of people don't really realize that there's Mark Garvey trigger off that Harlem Renaissance with Langston Hughes and so on. So we could trigger it off as well, because we have to trigger it off, because reading is power. Reading is power. Reading. You know, give you know, if you want to hide something from people, it's, you know, you hide it in a book, but we have to make people be more aware. That's one of the things I really admired being in Grenada in 1979. Was one of the things that we started a literacy program with the John. So the whole idea of even people who you think could read in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s and so on, and they were coming to learn to read. So reading is a very crucial thing, and you know, one of the things they didn't want, they want our prisoner of war, our prisoners of war, which are our great ancestors who they brought here by force to the Western Hemisphere, who they call slaves, and we call them prisoners of war. But they didn't want them to learn to read. But people like Toussaint Louverture was able to read, and he was able to help to stir up what we call the first Black Revolution in the Western Hemisphere, and help create what we now know as Haiti. So reading is crucial. Reading is crucial. And we continue to encourage.
And also Bookman, who was part of the revolution, was an
reading
avid
combination with Frontline is crucial. Yeah, man. If once we encourage our young people to read, I was encouraged as a young brother to read, coming up in my parents' home. So reading is very crucial, and I like how you just make your youth to read, and even participate in even with the IDOR study program. You know, I think it's crucial. We must encourage our youth to read. You know, because they're the future.
I've been slacking. I need to get forward on that. I've been slacking. I have to get forward.
Yeah, man. You gotta keep it up. Yeah, you must keep that up, man. That's very crucial, and even other youths, you know.
No, definitely. One of the things that we have to keep as part of the culture is reading physical books, because one of the things that you know, if you do serious research, is that everything is not on the internet. You can search on the internet, but there's certain information that is not online, contrary to how people make it think everything is online. Certain things is only in books, and you have to read the books and cite the books to really get the fullness of knowledge. So reading physical books always have to be part of our culture, and part of a way to know if someone is really treading Rastafari is that they will have a true berry. Even a man up in the hills who really a sight up far right, have him true berry, him have him books them put on where him can read by moonlight or in the day after him done in farming. You know, so reading is part of our tradition. I am the reading Ras. I claim that title, so don't compete. Although we are all reading.
We ain't out in the reading Ras. You see the reading Ras, so we know the reading Ras for real.
Yeah, we're all reading Ras's, but the title.
Yes, sir.
Take that title there.
Well, I'm glad to be the publishing Ras. I'm the publishing
Yes,
Ras.
the publishing Ras. The reading Ras and the publishing Ras. So let's go into the books of the month. Yeah, let's go into the books of the month. Which you want to start? Which book you want to start with?
I want to show Members of a New Race. Members of a New Race.
Yes. So give us the history of this book.
Members of a New Race, our dear I love it, brethren, who has since passed, Ras Sekou. I think he was in Malawi. I think it was Malawi, yes. And he was doing some research. He and Michael Ibo Cooper
Yes.
and so on. And then they came upon these what you call quotes and speeches from their Majesty. And they put Ibo wrote the introduction for the first set, and then Ras Sekou he edited it out and brought it in as a book form, in a booklet form. It was a bigger booklet, but before he passed, he was in New York, did a dentist, and he asked me if I could publish the book. So this is the format we did it in a similar format, so it come like a sister to Wise Mind. And why I like this particular book more so, because it was the speeches were selected by a Rastafari brethren, who was basically working in our communities. Spent a lot of time. He spent time, I think, was in Malawi. So yeah, so in Jamaica, he was always doing work within Rastafari bits, and so I think this book is a real important book, especially when they talk about becoming members of a new race. You know, which we all of us as Rastafari people and as African people, we strive to become members of a new race.
Yes, powerful
So
book.
that is the essence of
the original.
Yes.
I got the original book from Ista J, the yellow book.
Yes.
And this was part of this. One of the seminal books in my young trad as a Ras. It's a very important piece in the collection. It predates the Wise Mind. You know what I mean? This came out before the Wise Mind, which most people know.
Yes.
But this really is the first kind of pocket book of His Majesty teaching.
Yes. So it was done in a I think like a 5.5 by 7.5 by 8 before in a booklet form. But we decided to break it in a pocket-sized book like the Wise Mind, where it's easy for one to walk with it, because we need to walk with these books like if it's as our weapon. This is our defensive. We could go into it, and in the morning we could, pull a line from it in the night and so on, and it give us strength in terms of dealing with situations, as we come upon them, because their Majesty was very astute and wise. So it's always good to refer. You have we call Osashifo Kwame Nkrumah have his book, The Axioms. So so that I think it's very crucial that we have these books in these form. We have Mao Zedong with the Red Book and so on. So it's crucial that the High Majesty must have it. We must have a book special for the High Majesty where we could walk with it in our pockets. Our sisters and queens and empresses could walk with it in their bags and so on. Children could walk with it in their school bags. So it's a weapon. It's a matter of how we defend our irates and so on.
And I can guarantee, if you read this book and you live by this book, your life will get better. If you order your steps according to this book, your life will get better, no matter where you are. These are the type of things, if you're talking about manifestation and just keeping yourself on the mission, these are the books. Can you read a little excerpt of one of the pages there, Ras Sekou?
You know my eyes is not the best right now.
Okay.
But I could give you but yes, but one of the areas.
All right.
The aspect about members of a new race. If you could read a part of that.
What's that?
The part that deal with the extract that says talk about the members of a new race.
Okay, let me see if I can find that.
In fact, it should be in the inside cover, the front cover.
Okay. All right. Hold on there. Oh, okay. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owing our ultimate allegiance not to nations, but to our fellow men within the human community. Rastafari, you know what I mean? So that's more true now than ever, because it seems that the elites of this planet are driving our people to war instead of we should be building up prosperity with all of the technology and everything that is at our fingertips. You know what I mean? I want to read something that is very dear to I, which is His Majesty's Sound on Thriftiness. This was
Yes,
one of the
yes.
things that really helped I and I to understand economics in terms of a practical level. So His Majesty says, one should realize that thriftiness is the basis for the accumulation of wealth and economic growth of a nation. One seldom minimizes the value of money earned by the sweat of the brow, however small it may be. But for the extravagant, even a large amount of money is worthless. Know how to use your money wisely and effectively. A habit once formed becomes an incurable second nature. Therefore, utilize your wealth for worthwhile things and avoid employing it for the harmful purpose or for momentary pleasures. What are the things you possess? What were your objective in acquiring them? Learn how to spend wisely and the increase of your wealth will eventually be your guide. Use your savings where it pays the most. This is key. Hoarding of money does not yield dividends. If you wish your savings to pay higher dividends, join it with those of your fellow citizens. You see, radical economic collective security. It is
Radical economic.
work.
Radical economic.
Yeah,
That is why in the Caribbean we continue.
Yes.
In the Caribbean we continue what we call partners and susu and these things like that,
Yes.
which we brought in from retention from Africa. You know, so these are how we you know a lot of young people, their parents were able to send them to schools by through susu, through partners. They were able to buy your first car through a partner. You probably open up a small business through a partner. You're able to put on your roof on your house through a partner. In some places, even when they're coming together of people to build houses in Guyana and other places, everything they call it Guyap, where on a weekend, people come together and and say the carpenter come, the mason come, all these different people come together and they give time in terms of, and that's how houses were built in the Caribbean in the 50s and 40s and 60s and so on. People come together in that way, and also so when it's time to build your house, people come, the carpenter come, just to give you a Saturday or a Sunday, and in 2 2s, the construction is up. People come, the electrician come, and from the community come and give his time, and food is prepared and stuff like that, and that's how we continue, and that's what we call economic power, because you can't put a value on that in terms of the cost, labor. Because a man could be where you have other things he can do, what we call opportunity cost in economics. A man could want to stay home with his wife, want to stay, go to the movie also with his children, but he give that up to come and give his electrical shared electrical skill with one or carpenter or whoever. So these are the things, and they put value to it. So it's the same thing as pooling money together. We can't count that money
because the
because it
labor.
has a value.
Yeah, because go ahead.
No, and one of the things they see with those things like that, if 10 people help this week, when it's time to when Ras Kwasi want to build his house now, same thing happened. And at the end of the day, basically all they did was really provide what do you call raw material, and the people, your brethren and your sister, come together and help construct the house, and your wife and so on. They help prepare some food, and we prepare some herb and so on, and everybody's sharing that, and work non-stop work for the weekend, and in about a month or 6 weeks the house is done.
Serious thing.
And
So
that is the power of collectiveness.
and that's what we're preaching here on the Lion Voice Network. So how do people purchase this book? If the Lion Pride, we want at least 100 people to purchase this book after watching, because I know we're going to get
the book. You can get the book through Frontline, the DEI Frontline, right? DEIFrontline.com.
Okay. So they can just go online and purchase.
Or if you're in the East Coast, you're in Washington D.C. or in Maryland, Shabbat cultural store, Mama Walletti, she has copies. So you share the wealth, and make sure that the different communities where they have black bookstores, Rastafari leading bookstores, and so on. You share the wealth. You could buy from Frontline, the DIFrontline.com. If you could just buy it Frontline, you could go to Mama Walletti and buy it. If in that if you're in that area.
All right. So you can see on the banner across the bottom, that banner is funded by the Lion Pride on Patreon. So big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We have the banner, the info, the website. Again, we want at least 100 people. I know this video will get at least 400 or 500 views on it, hopefully more, but at least 400 or 500, but at least one quarter. If you don't have this book in your collection, go and purchase the book. We're practicing economic collective security. We put the word radical in front of it because even though the elders said we used to do these things instinctively, because of the wounds of slavery. I don't say trauma because an elder told me to leave that trauma word alone, because trauma seems like it don't have no ending, whereas wounds can be healed. So the wounds of slavery have caused us to not support each other economically for whatever reason. We're healing. This is a healing platform. We're healing from that. And again, the elder is one of the foundation. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. I am a product of Frontline Books. I say that proudly. So Mecca and I send some money to Frontline Books and purchase this. And then also, if we have it already, we can gift these books, to a younger generation. These are the things you step on the road and you see a group of young black youths and they're not really productive. You just say, hear me. And you pass them one of these books. It's a little small book. They have it. You can change somebody's life. So these are the weapons, as the elders say, that we need for this time as we're moving through as Rastafari. And I'm going to do an episode about the brand of Rastafari, because we're all protecting a global brand. And Rastafari brand is positive, and it's about education. And to make sure that we keep the integrity of the brand, we need these type of products where we can, give to ones and ones to show what we are defending, what we're dealing with. Yes, you see, man. So that's members of a new race. We're gonna talk about. We have two other books that we're highlighting. This is one of the books of the month for African Liberation Month. This is one of the liberation books. So. What book do you want to highlight next, Elder Sekou?
the wise mind of Haile Selassie, which, we about he speaks of war, the Sun War, which Bob Marley made, but most people don't realize that that was a speech made by Their Majesty Haile Selassie first when in 1963. So this book here was edited by, this is the Wise Mind, by Umayas, Prince Umayas Haile Selassie, Their Majesty, and he asked us at Frontline, myself, if we could publish this book. So the book came out in 2004. So it's now this year, July, going to make it 21 years. So it has reached adulthood.
The Wi-Fi is
Wise
rough.
Mind of
The Wi-Fi is rough. I'm going to ask
and
that
it's
to
a
repeat.
very potent book. It's a book that
Yes, family, the Wi-Fi is rough. I knew Wi-Fi the guy would make an appearance, because anytime we go deep into some serious reasoning, Wi-Fi the guy wants to make a celebrity appearance and make himself the topic of conversation. But we'll have Ras Sekou forward shortly. This is another book that was seminal to my child growing up as a young Rastafari, just having the little excerpts, because the selected speeches is a massive book. So having the smaller pocket size with the little excerpts, just kind of, these are things that affirmations, they just keep you firm within your chart, you know what I mean? And one of the reasons I didn't get caught up in a lot of doctrine wars or things that stagnated the movement for a long time is because I always stayed to the teachings of His Majesty. So always, unity is an accepted goal. The power of unity, how the colonial powers use divide and rule. All of these things are top of mind. So when ones that try to divide, I was never in those camps of division. You know what I mean? I've always been a brethren that link with ones from all, even though you always hear I talk about I Bingy man, always link with 12 tribe brethren. That's why Brother Carl is one of my teacher, Brother Roy. Always link with Bobo Shanti, Honorable Priest Jaja, you know what I mean, Honorable Priest Magabi. These are people where, our bona fide brethren them, from them time there. So we never created that division in our own tribe. And part of that is because of these teachings here, the wise mind. While we work on Ras Sekou, his thing is still, I'm going to read some excerpts. This is on development. This is coming from the wise mind. It says, let us not be too proud to face, honestly and frankly, the fact that by the standards of the modern world, the African peoples today are poor. Our poverty need not cover us with shame. But just as we must not be too proud to recognize the facts of Africa's economic situation as it exists today, so we must not be cast down or discouraged by the magnitude of the problems which face us, for Africa is potentially rich. And then the next part, our task is to improve the economic lot of all African peoples, to raise them to a standard of living comparable to that enjoyed in the most highly developed regions of the world today. The task, this is a task and a challenge which must be met. And because this touches all of us, all must labor and work for success in this endeavor. And this is why, again, we talk about the economic collective security. redirecting those small resources that pass. Most people can't afford to start a business, hire someone, but they can afford to livicate $10 a month to a cause. You know what I mean? That's $2.50 every strong, $2.50. There's no one who should be on the internet who can afford that. So if you take that $10 again, you're part of the Lion Pride, and you have 40,000 people who give $10 to one guest. That's almost $500,000 that person gets within that time span. So by practicing that type of economic security, we can capitalize our businesses. We bring the premier Rastafari workers on this platform. So can you imagine each of them coming in and getting that capital boost? What does that do to the movement? Can you imagine if this platform was able to get that strength from the Lion Pride, where the Lion Pride supported monthly, how we could scale up and hire Rastafari people around the world, and build a world-class media operation. So this is how we have to think. Again, Ibrahim Traore, he's in the battle to modernize Burkina Faso. I tell people that everything Ibrahim Traore is doing right now, a young Rastafari was doing in the 13. Actually, let's go even further back, from 1911. You know what I mean? Come straight up since he took on the governorate of Harar, coming straight forward, to the 70s. His Majesty was doing the same work that Ibrahim Traore is doing. It's just that he did it before social media. Ras Sekou, the eyes forward.
Yes, I'm right here. You hearing me?
Okay, yeah, man, I can hear the eye now. Tell us about this book. How? Because we couldn't hear the eye before. How did this book come about? Wise Mind.
Oh yes, the Wise Mind. This is the Wise Mind, as you see. It came about. It was around. It was 1998. We were publishing the autobiography of Haile Selassie, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And within that time, the Prince of Mayas and some of his advisors reached out to me directly and asked me if we could publish a book that he was doing, which was basically the title at the time, I think, was the introduction of to quotes by Haile Selassie. And when we saw it, we got it, the rough draft, and I retitled it and called it the Wise Mind of Haile Selassie, because I realized that it would be a book that our young brethren and sistren would be able to reach out to and look to, including non-Rastafari brethren. And it took a ring. It really did what it's supposed to do. So that was, we first published the book around July 2004. You hear me, Ras?
Yes, I hear the eye clear.
Yeah, man. So it was around 2004, around July 2004, that we first published this book, and it has since been to all over the planet. We ourselves have donated copies, hundreds and thousands of copies across the diaspora, including Haile Selassie High School in downtown Jamaica, there.
Yes.
So yes, and we have carried it to different parts of the world, and donated copies and so on, because we believe in, especially the houses of Rastafari, we make sure and donate copies to different mansions and so on, and so yes, so that is where the book came from. The whole idea of it coming from Umayas, and they reached out to Frontline, and this is the final production of it. So probably in later future we probably will do a volume 2, Wise Mind 2. Mama Mitzi and I have been talking about it since about 2004, about 25, 2006. So it's something, we probably do a continuation, a Wise Mind 2, or, second volume, and so on. But yeah, so this is a put it on book. We think everyone, Rastafari and non-Rastafari, because now in this time, the His Majesty name is ringing all over the continent, and it's more so, from South Africa to Burkina Faso to Ghana to Ethiopia, Kenya. The His Majesty name is ringing with a fresh sound, renewal. So we think it is very important that we must walk with this book as our straight up defense, in terms of how we're going to tackle certain things, in relation to humanity. The His Majesty was a lover of humanity, and we must follow in that same footpath that the His Majesty was doing. In terms of revolutionary, the His Majesty was one great leader who encouraged and fought for the liberation of Africa. When he and Kwame Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and so on helped created the Organization of African Union, which is now called the African Union, but it was called the Organization of African Unity in 1963. So we want to continue on his path, and we salute the His Majesty, and we think that everyone, every African, if you say that Pan-Africanist, you need to have the wise mind of Haile Selassie, pocket or in your bag.
Definitely. Again, this is shape. I didn't even know that it came out to the Crown Council. Big up Prince Ermias. He also did forward for Iman book as well. Big up Prince Ermias, and that, but because this book has influenced so many. Many people know about it from Chronic song Selassie Children. When you talk about it, check I Nation for the wise mind of Haile I the First. This is the book he's talking about. You listen to that song Selassie Children. So I know a lot of the youths them in Jamaica in particular, they move with the wise mind. This book really did penetrate the youth them. So this was a cosmic shift in the movement. Members of a new race. Again, it was my generation of Rastafari youth. This is what we had, which was the members of a new race, which it wasn't a pocketbook at the time, but it's now a pocketbook. And this generation has the wise mind really as their kind of guide that they take on the road with them and help to guide them. I want to read another section on work. And this is so crucial because, the stereotype is that Rastafari people just sit down and smoke ganja, listen reggae music, and we don't have anything. I hope that I know the Lion Pride watching this channel, because we only bring, high standard Rastafari people on this platform, accomplish in all of their respective fields. But this is a common perception. Even some Pan-African family would perceive us to just be herb smoking and, reggae music, but not really productive. But when you read the wise mind on His Majesty, the chapter on work, His Majesty said, everything is bound to be accomplished with man as the initiator and the Almighty as the executor. Man who is by his nature selfish must learn that only in serving others can he reach his full stature or attain the noble destinies for which the Almighty created them. This is about finding your purpose. You know what I mean? Your purpose is what is that unique capability that you have, that you you don't feel time will pass when you do it because you love it so much, that serves humanity. That's what every man, every woman, that is your number one mission, to find your purpose, to serve humanity. That is the manifestation of Zion on earth. Everyone functioning within their divine purpose. And it's nice to tell you that. There, it's not the DejazmatchKwasi making that up. He said again, man who by his nature is selfish must learn that only in serving others can he reach the full stature or attain the noble desires, the noble destinies for which the Almighty created him. To do one's job is one thing, and to be indifferent in general and be critical of work of others is another matter. So this is what happens to a lot of us. We become indifferent to the work, them man they now do no work, and then we criticize it. But then when if I come to these critics to see their alternative, I would see nothing happening, zero. So this is what this mind is talking about. To do one's job is one thing, and to be indifferent in general and to be critical of the work of others is another matter. The former, so to do one's job is the former. The former requires competence, determination, and wisdom, while the latter lacks these qualities. So anybody can just criticize and be indifferent to the work. And this is what we're trying to stop, the apathy. Don't just watch the content, interact with the content. When you see someone and it resonates what you're doing, send them some money so that they can scale their work and do it on a bigger level. And again, our job right now is to employ each other so that we're not going to Babylon to extract capital. We need to be having our own ecosystem where we're relying on each other. And until we do that, we can't burn Babylon, because we are living in off of Babylon. This is a reality. It is inappropriate to be a burden in any sort of work, especially the work undertaken in the general interest of a country. Let me say that again. It is inappropriate to be a burden in any sort of work, especially works undertaken in general interest of the country. Don't be a burden. And then here the one that burned them to ashes. Laziness is the sole breeder of sin, poverty, and discontent. So if you amongst people and them too grumpy, them just grumpy. Most of the time are laziness, because when you're doing work, you're seeing results, you're gonna feel a little bit of joy from the accomplishment of your goals. So these people that just criticize everything, but again, and I always, when I listen to critique, I always listen to the alternative, or else I waste time, because anybody can find fault in something. Come with a solution. We don't have time. We wasted too much time. We know the problems. We've wasted a lot of times on the problems. What are the solutions? What is the alternative? I could have sit down and look and say, I don't like how Rastafari is being portrayed in the media. I don't like the artists, what the artists them a sing about. Or I could have sit down and say that, but I created a media platform because I didn't see what I wanted to see. Why? It don't make sense for you to sit down and complain and you don't have an alternative solution. That's why the youths them are not gravitating to I in the numbers like they did in the 70s. Most of the elders, when we interviewed them in the 70s, came into the Liberty as teenagers. Most of the ones coming into the Liberty now are older. So why the youths are not gravitating? They don't see the touchable structure. Right now the youths them are focused on the bag. Get the bag. They want the material, they want to buy, they want to shop online. You know what I mean? If they don't see I with our own ecosystem and our own physical things where they can touch and see and experience, we will not retain them within the liberty. We will have to wait till Babylon break them down and then they will return. because there's nothing else left for them. So we shouldn't want them to go through that struggle. So his master said, laziness is the sole breeder of sin, poverty, and discontent. Then he says, by what means can man's achievement in this world be best remembered? Many people believe that this could be done by the erection of physical and material structures. Others believe that their works are themselves lasting monuments. We, for our part, think that man's contributions, which live to influence the life and progress of posterity, are the most permanent monuments that can ever be erected. So these are the words sound of High Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First. What did I say, Ras Sekou?
Well, I see that it's very crucial in this point in this time, that we be industrious. The only how we could be fulfill our mission, you know, because when the time comes for us to join the ancestors, the ancestral realm, we must know that we have made our contribution, and therefore we have contributed to the development of humanity, and therefore it's very important for us to continue to work both hard and smart, and in terms of being able to provide not only for our immediate household, but for collective households. You know, the young people who sometimes can't even, their parents can't afford to send them to school. If we're financially capable, we must be able to help contribute to some of these youths so they could go to school, and so on. Their man run out and leave them, you know, where we could contribute to some of these households. We must even get them that strength. And they can't do that by being lazy. When they talk about, some people say Rastafari people are lazy, that is a joke, because you and I is not lazy, brethren. You created a masterful platform. Frontline has been for the last 40 years. You know, we doing publishing along with Brother Miguel, you know, along with Rastafari Speaks and all these different things we were able to do. So we're not lazy. You know, what has happened is we get maligned within the whole um, organizational process within the world, that Rastafari people who want to work but they couldn't get work. And we didn't take a page out of Garvey when Garvey say we must do for self. We must be self-reliant and independent. And once, you don't have to start with a whole lot of money. You can start off with $20. Buy some nuts. Buy some nuts. Go to the bakery in your community, and start to patch the nuts, and then you pack it. If you get 30 packs, you go out and sell it for $1. You come back in, you might eat $5, and the other $20, you take it and you invest it. Now you might be able to have now 50 packs, and so on. And they continue reinvesting, and so on, and that's how we build, you know. Um, Walmart and Walgreens and them didn't just develop like that. They started off small. Even Amazon started off in its Basil started off in a garage, you know. So we had to start small, but we can do it. We don't have to depend on it working for anybody. And when we come together to work with other brothers and sisters and within our community, we just must learn to be honest and be straightforward, and not and hold on to the trust that other people trust us with. You know, but we are not a lazy people, because if we were lazy, we wouldn't have the plantation. How come we built up America? We built up the whole Caribbean. We built up Africa, and so on. We built up Europe. You know, so we're not a lazy people. Rastafari is a very industrious people, and we're seeing more and more and more youths who with minds coming forward. So we give thanks.
Yeah, man, and I see the Lion Pride checking in. Big up Gainham. Me, she says she bought a handful for the family. So Lion Pride, we overstand, and again we are educating ourselves to change how we interact with each other. You know, we're spending with each other. We're changing the paradigm. What's the final book?
The final book. The final book. And it's one of my special books. Um, Lessons for African People. You have other versions on the market. You have Message to the People by Tony Martin, one of my compatriots. But we spent a lot of time, and this is a background to the book. We spent a lot of time. I left London, and I would come to England, to America, here to Chicago, and spent a lot of time with Mr. James, C.L. James, not C.L.R. James, who I also knew, but C.L. James, who came to America in 1919 and studied at the feet of Mr. Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, and he was one of the commissioners in the UNIA, ACL movement. And when Garvey was deported, Garvey in 1927, Garvey came back. Didn't come back to America, but he came to North America, in Canada, what they call Halifax, and he brought together all the best of his students, and they came together 1937 in Halifax, Canada, and they came together and they studied what we call the philosophy, the philosophies of Marcus Garvey, what they call philosophy, African philosophy, the course of African philosophy that Garvey taught one-on-one to a group of the most elite of his commissioners of the UNIA. And Mr. James, I spent time with him in 1988, 89. I spent a lot of time with him. I would come to Chicago from London, and I would study at his feet, and I would make notes. I still have a book I'm going to do about him, because I did a lot of interviews with him since he spent a lot of time as a young man with Garvey from 1919 and moved up the ranks. When he first came to America, New York City, from Anguilla, and so he taught me a whole lot about the whole concept and philosophy and ideology about Marcus Garvey, and hence the reason we decided to retitle it based on these courses, which he called lessons. So we call it Lessons for African People. And in the next couple of months, we want to put it in a pocket-sized book as well, so people could be armed with Garvey as a philosophy. As Garvey said, one of the most powerful weapons within the reach of the African in this time is the use of race first in our time. So Garvey, we want to remember him, especially African Liberation Day, ALD, coming up 25th of May, and also remembering Malcolm X, may go 30 years on the 19th of May. So Malcolm X's father and mother were both Garveyites, and so we want to pay a tribute to Marcus Garvey, and we think that every African, if we want to take on the world today in terms of as African people, right? Leaders, students, women, men, children, all should have a copy of this book, Lessons for African People. And when it comes out in pocket size, we want it to spread across the whole African diaspora, because we must be equipped to take on the world. And only how we can take on the world, we must know and learn from those who went before us. And Marcus Garvey is one of our strong visionaries, one of our strong revolutionaries, and therefore we say lessons for African people, the course of Africa, course of African philosophy taught by Garvey. It's one of the Garvey never wrote a book. We must know this, but it's one of the closest we could come to Garvey writing a book because this is a class he wrote down. He wrote the instruction and taught for over a week in Halifax, Canada. So we say everyone should have this book. And in the other books, they all have talk about Negroes. We refrain from using the word Negroes because when we left Africa and our ancestors came here to the West, then the Western world, we came as Africans. We didn't come as nothing called Negro. You know, Negro is an insult to us as African people. So we hold on to it. So we have edited this book and we call it Lessons for African People, the course of African philosophy as taught by Marcus Garvey in 1937. First and only class taught by Marcus Garvey. Yes.
Serious. And big up everyone tuning in. I see Atlanta tuning in, Toronto tuning in. We had Senegal earlier tuning in. This is a global movement, and again, we're emphasizing the power of reading. I am the Reading Ras, and one of the things that we are pushing, if you see the Reading Ras brand, we have the Reading Ras merchandise. The logo is reading a Ras reading a book. You know what I mean? Physical books, because regardless how big the internet gets, a solar flare from the sun can knock out the whole power grid and you don't have no internet. What happens then? You have no access to knowledge. So Trueberries, and if you look at wealthy families, you always have a Trueberry room. They always have a room where they have books. Every wealthy family has their own Trueberry. This is part of wealth. His Majesty had his private library. Many of us have read The Mission, who was written by one of His Majesty's librarians who was a German, and he details how meticulously His Majesty would seek books from all over the world, and how he would read many of them in their native languages, and how nobody knew how many languages His Majesty could read or understand. So this is part of Rastafari. There is no separating I and I from reading and books. And if you cannot read, there's no shame. One of the things that we need to invest in is adult literacy classes, because there's no shame. A lot of our races, because of the persecution, weren't able to go to school, and some of them were not taught how to read formally. That should not be a mark of shame. That's something that we work together to overcome and to improve. But reading, again, is part of this liberty, part of this trad. And as long as we have this platform, we will be pushing the reading. So if you don't have this book, go to thefrontline.com, order the books. Again, we're practicing radical economic collective security. We're coining that term here. And I want to big up Ras, our resident Lion Pride fireman. And lately, Ras has just been dropping the economics fire on I, and this is why I have the most respect for Ras. You know, when he came as a watcher, he started coming on the platform and comment, and now you see that, all right, I like what I see. So every time Ras come in now, he drop a $2, a $1. And again, family, this is what we're saying. It doesn't have to be no big money. Get that out of our mind. Because a lot of time we say, boy, I want to support, but when I have $100 or and that time never comes because the bills eat out everything. This is how we have to think with radical collective economic, radical economic collective security, is that it's not the big money going to save I and I. It's the small money consistently. That is the formula: collective security, cooperative economics. So it's never too small to share, as my brother Aya Gift would say. It's never too small to share. So that is how we have to think about how we're dealing with this liberation struggle. You know what I mean? Big up yourself every time, Ras. Big up yourself. You know what I mean? Um, I can't stop saying enough about the eye because I always come in with that strength. So we're not gonna stay too long. This is gonna be once a month. Reading Ras on the front line. This is a new series. This is chapter 1 in this series. The beginning. We are bringing our elder. He's gonna select 3 books a month now. I think we set the precedence, Ras Sekou. So every
Yes,
month,
I.
we're
We
coming with
ready,
three
man.
books.
Ready and able. Ready and able.
Yeah, man. We're coming with 3 books from the catalog, and we'll have a discussion around them. And the aim again is that the hundreds of people that watch these videos purchase the book. You know what I mean? Take your time. Yes, it may be a little bit more than a $10 or $20. It might be a 30 or 40. But okay, maybe 40,000 people don't buy, but 10,000 can buy. You know what I mean? This is how we want to think about this revolution. So again, when we see Ibrahim Traore, um, yes, that's beautiful and we love it. But just slogans and marching is not going to liberate us. The only way we will liberate each other is cooperative economics. If I have 40,000 people in the Lion Pride, which will have that by the end of May, $10 they give to one guest. Again, that's $500,000. That guest could sit down for 2 hours and walk away with $500,000. Imagine what they can do now. And then that guest now hire Rastafari people. We are liberate. That's how we liberate each other. You know what I mean? If my 40,000 Lion Pride supported as Patreon members and we had that money coming in every month, now we could employ a staff. Now I could turn into Wodamaya and be in Burkina Faso with camera crew filming the revolution and bringing it to the IDEM, you know what I mean, in 4K. That is the vision that we have. We don't want to be, I'm in my gates, I love my gates, but we want to be at the level where we can fly around the world to where the action is happening and, you know, hire people from these countries also to bring the news and the vibration to us as a global Rastafari family. The unity will be supported the more that we see, the more that we know, the more that we can tap in, you know, the more that we use this technology to break those barriers, those artificial barriers, separate us. We have so much to offer, so much in common. And again, we lack nothing. I want us to get out of this. Reparations will only come when we are powerful. They're not going to give us reparation because they like us. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. So we really have to come together and be united in our struggle. And again, the unity is not just demonstrated by slogans, it's demonstrated by taking that fiat currency that's passing through your hands and redistributing it to someone who looks like you, who looks like the I. You don't have to be I. You can say, boy, I don't even want the reading Ras for $1. But you see his guests, let me support the guests. You know what I mean? That either one, my family, my tribe is forming. Big up John Rogers, the latest addition to the Lion Pride on Patreon. His Majesty himself is sending the ones to support the Patreon. So I give thanks. We wait patiently. We do the work. We know that they will come. We are faithful servants. So we know that they will come. So big up everyone in the Lion Pride on Patreon. But again, I want the rest of the Lion Pride support the guests. You know what I mean? Spend money with our guests. I'm going to keep on saying it until I get a guest that call me and say, Ras, I look in my account in the morning and I saw $10,000. I saw $50,000. I saw, you know what I mean? Until I get them calls there. And then the beautiful thing, let me just say this and then we'll get our elder to give us some final words, is we are having our first town hall meeting in the Patreon, the Lion Pride on Patreon. And what I'm doing with the Patreon is that the Lion Pride on Patreon They will be helping us to select guests and topics in the future. We'll be working in, so some of the episodes they'll be helping to curate. But again, what we'll be doing is the Lion Pride on Patreon will act as a filter. So when we get the platform to where we're capitalizing other people, it won't just be I making the decision on who's the guest. The Lion Pride on Patreon will be able to come together. We vote on this person or that person, or Ras, you need to see this business, or So when we platform people, we're being strategic about who the capital is going to. So I understand it's a big responsibility. This is why we're bringing in the Lion Pride on Patreon. In our town hall meetings, that's going to be one of the things that we set. Our first town hall meeting will be next Sunday. So if you want to be a part of that, join the Patreon at the $10 and up level, and you will become part of that. And we also invite our sponsors to take part as well. So if you are contributing to the platform at $10 and up, or if you are an existing member at the $5 level, you are also welcome. But moving forward, you have to be $10 and up to be invited to the town hall meetings. But if you are already in there, everybody who's in there now is welcome. We're building a community, and again, we're going to use that as a focus group for the channel, so we can get ideas and develop, and also we'll be highlighting the works of those people as well on the platform in the Patreon. So we're just building a community of success and collective security again. So big up all of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Make sure, look out this strong. We'll be sending the link to the Zoom for the town hall. We'll be networking so everybody knows each other. It's going to be powerful. We're building here, family. So you're watching the uprising. Join the Patreon if you can. Support how you can. You know what I mean? Again, support a guest. And today we're here to ensure that you support Frontline Books, our latest addition to our sponsor network. I am the Reading Ras, and that means that physical books have to be a part of everything that we do. So, Ras Sekou, please just give us some final word sound to the global family. Hold on, we're not getting any sound. I don't know what happened. Hold on. Okay, we're working on the sound. We're working on it. Let me read some of the messages in the meantime. We have Empress Katora, Empress Katorja. All right. We have to take time. Tafari, bless up yourself. Templar Fuller is blessed. Is here. Blessed Sabbath. Blessed sabbatical blessings. Family. Northern California representing Gain Up Me, our regular Lion Pride and Patreon family. Big up yourself every time. Sabbath Shalom. Big up yourself. That is what we're doing here. We're doing at CFOS next Saturday in Chico, California. Big up yourself. Ras, big up yourself every time. Gain at me. Yes, I art and fact drumming session at CFOS in Chico, California. Reading and drumming on 510 CFOS. All right, big up yourself. So if you're in Northern California, make sure you support. You know what I mean? We support our Lion Pride family. All right, blessings. Okay, hello. Some greetings are going in the comments. All right. Blessings. Greetings from Antigua family. Rastafari blessing. Yes, yeah, so family, we are 2 days away from the 10,000 subscribers. So The brethren here is from San Diego. Lazy Man, Fantastico, bless up yourself. All of the global family checking in. Ras Sekou, talk, let me hear. Talk, let me hear. Ras Sekou, talk, let me hear. Go out and come back in and see if that works. Come off and come back in and see if that works. We have to get your final words on. Okay, unmute and try. Talk, let me hear. I think it's Wi-Fi, the guy. Will work out. Come forward and come forward again, Ras Sekou. Drop out and come in again and try. Let's see if the connection will be better. So family, again, once every month we're gonna have this. This is a new series as part of our Lion Voice Live. Every other strong, we're gonna have lives on the Saturday, and then once a month we're gonna welcome Ras Sekou with 3 books. And again, we're just asking the family to support the books, buy the books. Frontline Publishing is our newest sponsor, so he is spending his marketing dollars with the platform. And again, this is part of our strategy, is to target Rastafari businesses. We are also reasoning with another business in the Caribbean. And you don't have to be based in America. We're building a global platform. So the sponsors that we'll have on the platform, they're interested in building their brand globally amongst the Rastafari family, because they might choose to open a business on the continent one day, or they might do other work. So when you come to their region as a Ras, they want you to know that they exist. So you're going to start seeing businesses, Rastafari businesses from all around the world. I'm not saying I'm not going to get sponsorship from other non-Rastafari businesses, but we are targeting Rastafari businesses to start, and we're building out that ecosystem. But as we bring these businesses forward, we want our audience to support them. Again, radical economic collective security. That is how we honor revolutionaries like Ibrahim Traore. Coming into the repatriation, we got to come economically strong, family. We can't just come with the slogan and the placard again. We got to come able to build schools, health centers, media operation, come and employ the young people. Africa needs jobs, you know what I mean? This is the biggest thing that Ibrahim Traore is going to face now, the revolution. One of the things that happened to His Majesty in Ethiopia is that when you rapidly develop, you become a victim of your own success. You know, Addis Ababa started becoming flooded with people from the rural areas looking for jobs. And so these people don't have jobs. They could be co-opted by foreign NGOs to rise up and protest in the street, and all of these things were being caused. But again, it's not because His Majesty is squandering, it's because the rapid development, it becomes a beacon. And everybody hears the success stories coming from Addis, and you have to now create all of these jobs to meet the rising demands of a population that is fastly becoming educated, fastly in need to where you harness. So as we return home, we got to be returning home with job opportunities. So again, if we have a force like the Lion Voice Network, and we're projecting to be over 100,000 by January 1st here on the Lion Voice Network. That's our goal, hit 100,000 by January 1st. And if we reach there, it's not unrealistic to say half of those people, 50,000 people, again, giving $10 to a guest at any given time. You know what I mean? Once a month even. And again, you have a guest that walk away from the platform with $500,000. What can we do if that type of capital is pouring into our community on a monthly basis? we're going to see people being employed. We're going to see businesses come out of that. We're going to see, because remember that the people who come on this platform are not loosey-goosey people. The people who come on this platform are people who have done the work, who are doing the work, who have a resume of work, but they're probably struggling over the years. They probably self-funded. They've probably seen good times and bad times. So if they can come on a platform like this and get that capital boost, they're going to do the right thing with it. So we need to have that mindset, and I'm going to continue to preach that mindset here until we can manifest it, because that's the vision. That is I and I vision with the numbers. I look at the numbers and I say, this is not hard. You know what I mean? It's only hard when we're trying to find $10,000 for invest in that, and that become like we're dreaming. But the $10, most man I buy a 50 bag and smoke that in 2 days or a day. You know what I mean? So $10 to someone who's doing powerful work is not unrealistic ask. You know what I mean? It's not fantasy, it's just the mindset and changing the mindset and how we deal with this capital that's passing through our hands. So we're just waiting for Ras Sekou to sort out so he can say a final word. Check in, let us know if you're watching live and you have not checked in yet. Let us know where you're watching from. We have everyone from Antigua to Senegal to Johnny Johnson from El Paso. Checking in, you know what I mean? El Paso, Juarez, Mexico, you know what I mean? So powerful, powerful. Greetings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You hear now?
Yes, I.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
I want to make a contribution. I want to give up our lessons for African people to one of local audiences, so we could mail out a book to somebody within the US or somebody in the Caribbean or Africa who has a mailbox in the US.
Okay.
We would like to give one copy. I want to ask one simple question.
Okay.
And whoever answer the question accordingly, we would mail out. They could send their address to you, and we could mail out once there's a mailbox in the US, we can mail it out to them.
All right. So you're gonna ask the question now, and then someone
Yes,
can
I'm gonna ask
answer
the
in the
question right
comments.
now. Yes, I'm
All
gonna
right.
ask the question right
First,
now.
hold on. The first person to answer in the comments, if you are in the United States, you will get a free copy of this book mailed to you. So, first person to answer this question correctly in the comments, if you're in the United States, you can get a free book. This is big.
They could be in the Caribbean too if they have a mailbox. If they have a mailbox.
If they have a mailbox, Caribbean, we not leave you out, because Ras Sekou's from Trinidad. He not leave you out. You see that? All right. So if you have a mailbox in the Caribbean, you're eligible. So all of my
Mailbox. If we have a mailbox in the US.
All right.
If in the
So
Caribbean and have a mailbox, yeah.
All right. What is the question?
The question is, what year, month, and did Garvey went on to meet their ancestors?
What year did Marcus Garvey go home to meet the ancestors?
Yes. What day, month, and year?
Don't cheat, family. I don't want you to use Google. What year did Marcus Garvey go home to meet the ancestors? Don't cheat. First answer with a mailbox gets a free book. Chicago checking in. Atlanta checking in. My first Lion Pride and Patreon member ever. One of my greatest accomplishments. Ras Andre, big up yourself. 1940. Do we need the month and the day?
We need a month and the day.
Okay, we need the month and the day. We got 1940. We need the month and the day. Farmersville, California, locked in. Big up yourself. First full answer. We need the full date. We need the full date. You can win a free book. All right, free book. June 10th, 1940. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
All right,
So
lazy man.
you send me the email
No,
and the
what
address,
we're
and
going
we'll
to
fill
do,
it out early in the week.
lazy man is gonna send you an email. Copy the email down on the
Yes.
scrolling
Yes.
banner and send your address,
Yes.
lazy man fantastico, and then let us know when you receive the book. You come forward on a live and let us know you got the book. But
Yes.
copy it down. I don't want to be the middleman when the man is here.
Frontline Books 1017. Frontline Books 1017 at gmail.com.
Okay. So what about this info at frontline, the
No,
frontline.com?
Frontline Books at gmail.com.
Frontline books at gmail.com.
Yes. And the
Books
website
with a
is,
S.
yes, with a S. And the website is DIDfrontline.com. It's Frontline Books 1017 at gmail.com. And the website is DIDfrontline.com. You got me? Ras Kwasi? Say hello.
In three stores that do you want to allow
Yeah.
to use up to maybe replace storage on your iPhone?
Yeah, just say hello to her. Greetings? Greetings?
All right, we had a little technical difficulties. So send it to frontlinebooks at gmail.com. Lazy Man Fantastico. You are the first winner of Reading Ras on the Frontline competition. And I like that. I like the giveaways. I like the vibration with the giveaways and the trivia. So I think we'll try to do more of that. I might even do some with my book as well. I like it. I like it a lot. We're evolving, family. We are a young channel, and you know what I mean. We're gonna continue to grow and evolve with your input and with your strength. We just dropped the Daddy Bosco Ahuma Rasa Ahuma Kansi, the chair of the Rastafari Council of Ghana, also the chair of the Rastafari Continental Congress Council. Sorry. So if you haven't seen the first clip from that interview, reasoning, go watch that. Very important historical figure, helped to break the barriers in Ghana. I told him in the reasoning that when I first went to Ghana, I got nothing but salute and them thing that is them and their work, because when he was growing up, they were ostracized for being Rastafari. And you know, over the years, they have been able to do great work. So check out that interview. We also dropped the third clip from our Luton Fire interview and the full episode from our Jerry Small reasoning. That one is moving like hot bread. So watch all of the content. Again, we have cutting edge Rastafari content, high level reasoning. you won't find anywhere else on the internet. Just, you can find clothes, but nothing that is speaking precisely to what we are delivering. Ras Sekou, can you give us
Yes,
final word sound,
yes,
please?
indeed, indeed. So we want to say that reading is power. So we all need to read and we need to implement what we read. And that means to say we have a large variety of books to read from. We have Malcolm X, we have Martin Luther King, we have Their Majesty Haile Selassie the First. Everyone should read The Wise Mind, Members of a New Race, the autobiographies, and so on. Read the historical document that Brother Kwasi wrote, Ras Kwasi wrote. So reading is crucial if we want to know and have a clear path to the future, and if we want to know about the past, and we want to live in the present, we must be able to read, research, and therefore build up that power within our irate in order to deal with our reality. Because if we're going to create a revolution, we only could create a revolution if we know, because knowledge is power. Yes, we give thanks. And we give thanks for this strong reasoning. We give thanks to Ras Kwasi and all those who continue to give him support across the globe. They say one cocoa that fill a basket. So we need to continue to strengthen Ras Kwasi in every way possible, because everyone have their own what they call the media, and the media, they're not going to talk for us. They're not going to have us on their platform, right? They give you a full page in their media, and the next 6 months to a year they're going to tear you apart. So this is a media house that we need to support in every form and every way. Lion Pride, the Lion Talk. We give thanks, and will continue to partner with the Lion Talk and Ras Kwasi to make it work, because we all know that we need equipment so we could deal with things in a better way. Ras Kwasi, in whatever way we want to be able to support the strength in the eye, so we could have stronger signals and better internet and everything, because we can do it. If Garvey could have do it in 1922
Things, this is
with, with,
Warrior
with the
King. At the
limitation he
time
had,
has
we have the internet now, and we could go to 25 million people, because we can do it. Rastafari.
Give thanks, Ras Sekou. Again, it's an honor for I, as a young Ras, as I say, many of the books I read, I would open and see either Frontline or Head Start or both in the imprint. So to be here and to be sponsored by Frontline Books is a full circle moment, and I always don't take it for granted to get the support as an elder, publisher, and forerunner in this. So the endorsements that the I say is music to my soul, and it reaffirms that I've been called by His Majesty to do this work. It's not easy. The item don't see the technical struggles, the hours and hours of editing, the sacrifice when you can't go out. I don't leave my house more time to do interviews. You know what I mean? And these things. So it's a lot that we endure, but it's a joy. It's a joy. You know what I mean? Oh Lord, we're going through some technical. Okay, these things will happen.
Yes, I.
Isis, Isis. So, family, again, this is Reading Ras on the front line. Brand new series. Once a month, we will be here with our elder Ras Sekou Tafari, He will be selecting 3 books. And again, we're asking ones to just watch this episode, purchase the books, let us support the elder. We are introducing the concept of radical economic collective security, the way that we will honor Ibrahim Traore and the revolutionary spirit that is rising in Africa is by building an economic base for Rastafari and the Pan-African community. The way that we are contributing here on this platform is asking our audience to support our guests, $5, $10, whatever you can support. Numbers, the collective working together is what is going to make that difference. 1,000 people giving $10 is $10,000. You know what I mean? That's nothing to sneeze at. Even if we get 1,000 people giving $10 to a guest, that guest leaves with a major strength. So that's how we want to think about moving forward on the platform. Big up all of the Lion Pride. We will hit 40,000 this month. We're working on getting our special 40,000 Lion Pride interview or reason. You know, we always bring on a special guest every 10,000. We're also going to be doing our live where we invite the Lion Pride to come on and just block sound. So be prepared for that in the next couple strongs, because we will reach 40,000 in the next couple strongs. Again, big up John, our latest member of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Next Sunday, we will have our first town hall meetings. If you join before next Sunday, you'll get the link to come and be part of that history. We're going to be recording that. That's going to be history for the channel. Remember, when we get to the level of BT and CNN and Walt Disney Company, remember those who were here from early. Just remember these moments when I was in my gates and talking to the IDEM. We're going all the way, you know what I mean, fully world-class platform. So we're having our first town hall meeting. If you want to be part of that history, join the Lion Pride before Sunday and you will get the link. If not, we'll see you down the road somewhere, but we are moving. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yes, job people, this is Michael Shemai representing. I will say, Haile Lion Voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's Voice. Now put it. I Jalifa said that.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story. Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.